think of a black woman, I think extremely strong, independent, um, for sure strong. Yeah, I think those two. Independent woman, a strong woman, a woman that will go out there and get it on her own type of deal. Because they are, if the black men are under pressure, they are extreme amount of pressure, So for them to still be at the high statistics of graduating or things what they're accomplishing, man, you got to be extremely strong. So when I think of a black woman, I think of a strong lady, strong black lady for sure.
Salute them, they're queens. They do it all from, taking care of things to being organized, always have food on the table. They take out in a lot, like, I ain't gonna cap. Relationship wise, like, they put up with a lot of our stuff. I'm sure y'all know. But they still, be holding it down. So I feel like they deserve a lot more credit. They, definitely have opened my mind to like a softer side. Like, I'm actually about to get into plants. Like, I never really thought I would buy plants or anything like that. So just being able to like take care of it.
Black woman to me, man. When I think about a black woman, I think of my mother, my cousins, my sisters, and I think of women who have endured a lot of adversity and a lot of opposition and a lot of just hardships and hard things, and have chosen to be beautiful and strong anyway. And I know a lot of people are thinking, well, not everybody does that. Well, yeah, that's true. Not everybody does everything. So shut up. But when I think of a black woman, right, I think of that. It's an honor to be a black woman, right? Like, it's an honor. And I would say the same thing about any woman, but since the question was a black woman, that's what I'm answering. So, but it's an honor, right? And unfortunately, for a long time, a lot of them have had to play, the role of a single parent. A lot of them have had to be a mentor and a counselor and a disciplinarian and a provider and all of these different things all at once, to the point where, like, there's become this attitude and stigma that you don't need anybody else. And I would challenge you on that and say, man, like, it's okay. Like I would say to men, it's okay to have help, right? You don't have to do it alone. That's not a point of pride. Like, don't take pride in doing it alone, because that's gonna lead you to push everybody away when your identity is rooted in being dismissed or discounted and rising above it, right? Yes, that's a part of your story, but that's not who you are.
Black woman, oh man, mother of the earth. Sheesh, that's another one that's hard to put into words, but I think just a caring, beautiful being, that's really been put here really, I think, to bring a lot of order. You know what I'm saying? I think a black woman can help change, chaos into order. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would put as a black woman, man. Just caring, and a person who represents order, nurturing, and like I said, like the purest form of love. Like that, to me, that's what a black woman is at the core.
Shit, like I said earlier, I can't turn my love off for a woman. A black woman and shit, especially. They everything, they hold it down, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's kind of, it goes into how we be. Because as men, you know what I'm saying, like, we do what we want to do, but then it's always geared behind a woman a little bit. It's kind of inspired, you know what I'm saying? They in there for sure. We not just, you know what I'm saying? We do this shit because it's a woman. They everything for real.
Man, black woman to me is powerful, beautiful, ever so amazing, celestial black women. There will be no people, there will be no peace, will be no anything, no organization, no balance, no none of that. So I think black women are a real important.
Black woman to me is divinity. I think that throughout time and throughout history, looking at, and so, you know, the separation that you asked earlier between like a black man and a man, not looking at like the history of women, but looking at like the history of black women, there's always been a power, a strength, and a sort of, I want to say, it's like a glow, but you know, glow wasn't the word. Glow's not as strong as the word as I'm thinking of. Maybe essence, maybe aura, somewhere along those lines. But you know, from our households here to our households in the beginning of time, the black woman has always been at the head of those. And you know, men step in to make life or death situations. You know, when something needs to get done, and you know, it takes the predatorial instincts of a man to do it. But outside of that, the woman has always been at the head of everything. And so, to me, the black woman is the head of everything.
A problem. No. I'm just joking. I got a black mama, you know what I mean? So black women, you know what the cool thing about it is? Just like the black man, like it's so many negative stigmas, but there are some great black women, you know what I mean? Just like I think it's some great black men. I just think that we have had polarized input from society from the beginning of time, you know, and I feel like we've been pent against each other, you know, and so I mean, what is a black woman? I would have to, if I had to use it in terminology, put it in one word: strong. But that don't, again, going back to the weak and strong comment, that don't necessarily mean she's right, just because she's strong, you know what I'm saying? Because you can be really strongly opinionated and be wrong as hell. You know, you could be strong and be motivated and have the wrong motivation. So I believe that they have it's like they're a pillar of strength, but at the same time they could be very, very nurturing as well. So I feel like if they in tune with that, it's cool. But don't piss them off and don't do them wrong, because that's a jacket you go wear for a minute.
A black woman, she a queen to me. She is a queen to me. A black woman is, well, let me just say, a woman is strong. A woman is to give birth. A woman is strong. I think God made women in general so strong and so talented and so just resourceful. Now, I think a black woman, you know, I may be partial, but I believe a black woman is a queen. I can speak from my experience. My mom has been through several challenges. The women in my life have been through several challenges, and I've seen on countless occasions them make something out of nothing. I mean, it's something out of nothing. You know, whether it's a negative thought. I would have a negative thought, and my mom I remember one time I came home and I was in school and I was like, Mama, like, I don't want to be me. I want to be cool. I want to be this. I want to be that. Like, man, like, I want to be this. And my mom looked at me and she said, what? You know, God made you perfect. Look at those eyebrows. Look at those lips. Look at those eyes. And I was like, how did she make something? To where she flipped it back on me, like, and you're not happy with God? That God made that? I'm like, God made you perfect. He made you just the way he wanted you to be. And that's kind of been like my experience of many black women just being really strong. And then even when you think about, you know, slavery times and, you know, times of, you know, just different things that women have had to go through and suffer in silence and suffering in silence and not giving the space to usually say how they feel or not giving the compassion. You know, women escaping slavery, pregnant, giving birth while escaping slavery, you know, or escaping different things. So to see how Black women in particular have come from so much, or just being underprivileged, and providing like healthcare and different things, just so many areas of underprivilegedness that Black women have experienced, and then to still beat so many of those odds, is so amazing. That's why I call them a Black queen.
Everything. The reason that we here, like, Black women are just, I'm sorry, melanated women are just, they powerful. And a lot of the things it's just like sad to see in society. That's like what's going on. And because the same attacks that the Black man is under, the melanated women is under, you know what I mean? But even worse, to where now they have to step into the role of the melanated man. You get what I'm saying? For the past 40, 50 years, since the 60s or however long, you feel me? Women been being single mothers and all of this. So now they got to be the Black man. And we already got a hard ass life, and they Black women. So now they gotta be Black women and Black men to little Black babies. You know? But the crazy thing is that they still grow and flourish. Like, it's crazy to see. There's so many business women and successful women, educated Black women. You know what I mean? It's good to see that they still flourish, because they just as strong as us as men. That's why I said there's no difference between being a man and being any other person besides genitalia. You get what I'm saying? Because, I mean, we all live a life at the end of the day. We all flesh and blood and spirits. You know, but a lot of people forget about the spirits, that we are spirits in these capsules. But yeah, I'm sorry I went off on a tangent about the Black women, they get me excited.
The Black woman represents what it is to be a Black man. And she has to present herself to be as strong as she has this entire time. Now it's the man's turn to really stick up for his woman and say, I've got your back this whole time.
Black woman that's probably, if not God, the next thing to God. Because without Black women, there would be none of this. And that's just facts.
A Black woman is just going to deal with certain things that other people aren't dealing with, as far just from the trauma of slavery. You know, you're going to deal with certain things that the other races don't deal with. Some people underestimate you just because of who you are, or just because how you may look, something that you can't control. So we deal with those different types of stereotypes, and I think ultimately it makes us stronger. It equips us to do bigger things. Personally, that's how I feel. We've been equipped to do things, to go through things that other people can't go through. So and if we will use that to our ability, we can see greatness often.
And the Black communities, because the stigma is they don't know how to act. They get left. They don't know how to be mothers, in a sense. Not all, some, but for the women that are mothers, and for the Black women that are mothers, I feel that it's bad, because the difference is a Black woman, just like with a Black man, they have so much more to prove, even though they're already a woman. They're already women. Just because they're Black, they have to prove so many different things that typically that a white or Caucasian woman don't have to prove. So that right there is bad to me, because it stands out as a Black woman is weak, even though I think they're the strongest beings on earth. To me, like I say, my mom raised all her kids by herself. It was hard seeing that, but she did it, and that showed me the strength. I don't ever feel I went without, no matter what was going on. My mom put her best foot forward, and even raised kids that wasn't hers, outside of herself. So I do feel like the Black woman doesn't get enough credit, and it's a huge difference between being a black woman and just a woman.
You depend on someone who you can call, someone who actually shows that they want to be there with you, someone who looks past your lies, your faults, because not everyone's perfect in this life. Not everyone is meant to be perfect in this life. She may not be perfect, so you have to accept her for how she is and how she came. You cannot put her down, as well as she will not put you down either. And we need to respect them more, because I see a lot of us black men, mainly in the media, kind of using the black women to, like, in a derogative way, more so like ass titties everywhere. It's nice to look at, but it's like you're using the black woman as main as that. But if you look at a white girl using a music video and she was also in a suit, or you use her as something different. You know what I'm saying? You could have had the white girl shaking her ass and doing all the crazy shit. You could have the black girl be the assistant, or the nice classy one. It's just like how the media just puts the black woman out there, represents the black woman. And it kind of makes them feel bad too, It kind of makes them feel like, well, damn, like, do I have to look like that? Do I have to feel like that? Like, the media ain't really doing that out here to these white girls. I mean, they kind of cover it up real quick under the rug. I mean, there may be a few stories here and there. We ain't gonna lie, come on now. Everyone knows the truth. Yeah, everyone has the bad shit, but like, it's kind of like the lights always shine on the black folk.
In the past that they've come through, I think put it like this, I think black women are super hard and don't necessarily, I'm gonna say don't have to be, they've had to have been. This is a culture that's been created. They have to be super strong. They have to be hard. I mean, you got dudes that was leaving the family to go get jobs in other states, and the moms had to hold it down, 4, 5 kids. And even before that, then you got a mom that's out there in the cotton field with the family that, I mean, it's so many different, variables and things that make black women, it's a fly that's killing me, make black women, like I think they're probably the strongest race of women, period. I mean, I'm sure you probably ask another gentleman, another race, he'll probably disagree. But I think black women, with everything you black women have had to go through, I think there's a chip on their shoulder too, just like there's a chip on a black man's shoulder. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like that's all our fault. You know what I mean? I feel like it's generational. And if you don't have these conversations and nobody's really talking about it, like, how do we make it better? How do we make it different? And what's to say is better? Because it could definitely get worse. What's to say it's not better than it will be 5 years from now? You know what I mean? So I think we got to just take account and understand, like, it's a lot of underneath, a lot of stuff that black people deal with that make us hardened until we don't have to be, you know what I mean?
I think a black woman is viewed differently, but I think that everyone is viewed differently. And so I think as everyone has their distinctions of the negative and positive viewpoints of their qualities, the black woman also has that. And I think hers are just more emphasized. For some reason, they bear a heavier weight, and I believe it's because it's coming from more angles, because we do it to them too, and so it's just like, but I kind of described it like living to somebody way back when. I was talking to them about how, like black people, when they go out of their house, you gotta constantly like have your head on a swivel. You gotta be prepared for anything. You go to the gas station, you going to school, you going to eat, and then you get back in the house, and then like that's your time to breathe until you realize, like, the police can come up in your house and they can kill you still, and so you still gotta be up in there and be on 10. And so I think when you live under that constant like pressure and constant stress, like it do something to you where it's like, it's a weight, and I think that's the same kind of pressure like, you know, black women feel as they maneuver through society because they're getting it from like all sides. It's just like, you know, when do we get a break?
Yeah, definitely. I think the same way as the black man, I think like we both have to deal with a lot of, I think, what's the word I was looking for? I just used it a minute ago, but the image, like, so the imagery. So I think we have to deal with a lot of that, you know, whether it's Love and Hip Hop or, you know, all the other shows we watch that we find funny. I think for a lot of us, or for black men and black women in particular, like for outside people, those are their only reference points for us. So when we go out into the world, we're dealing with combating those. Like I said, with the way we dress, or it could even be the way we talk. If they're not used to us talking a certain type of way, they've seen it on this though. They must be that type of person. You know what I'm saying? So we're dealing with all of those different things. So I think that's how the black woman, the way she has to navigate through the world is the same way. I think you're dealing with, you know, stereotypes and living up, you know, to represent the culture. I feel like we're the only ones where we go out there and we say, like, if we do something bad, like, we fucked up for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I think we the only group of people, black men and black women, that got to deal with that. So obviously, yeah, the black woman has to deal with that.
Yes, I do. A black woman, they're gonna, of course, think she's loud, ghetto, lack of education, whatever the case may be. Just everything negative, honestly. But they want to be like us in every way, from the hips, the hair, the music, the nails. They, you know, other races emulate the black woman, but they don't want to be the black woman. They don't want what comes with being a black woman. So yes, I feel like that in every aspect.
What are your experiences with women, good or bad, cheating, lying, abuse, or manipulation? There's a story.
I ain't got no stories. I'm finna make this shit quick. Wait, read that one more time. Read that one more time. Now, epic. You know, both sides, like you say, I've dished it out and I've had it dished.
Give us one you felt bad for.
When I felt bad for what? Oh, I'm hitting my mic. Why I got to talk about why I feel bad? Why she can't talk about something she feel bad for? No, I'm just saying. Let me see. What something I felt bad for? Okay, lesson learned. Shit, something. Yeah, you over here ad-libbing. You over here freestyling and shit. Like, what the hell? I didn't see that in the email. This happened maybe about 3 years ago. About 2 years ago. All right, so issue with the lady, well, an ex, and she was upset because we weren't together, but I was having a set of twins, right? She was a little bit upset about that. And so I go to travel to see my sons. I come back, and that's when a lot of stuff starts. And when I say a lot of stuff starts, argument, you know, and just a misunderstanding, because I'm still dealing with the emotion of just coming back from seeing my sons for the first time and trying to figure out, like, how is this gonna work, you know, new dad type stuff, you know. My daughter was in, I took my daughter, so we all, you know, got to see, you know, the new family edition. So I'm kind of riding that wave, kind of riding that high, I guess you would call it. And then, so she wasn't really feeling it, you know. And when I came back, you know, again, like I said earlier, it's like I get kind of quiet and reserved when, you know, I'm troubled or just trying to figure things out. So that's kind of like the stance I took. I was kind of quiet on it. So, make a long story short, she ends up popping up at my house. No. And from that point, it got physical. And I remember I had an interview the next day with one of the news stations, and I had a scratch from here to here where she had like taken and just, and so I'm walking around, so I'm trying to do this interview, and I'm doing this interview like this the next day, And I remember not just being upset about the physical, scars, but just thinking about like, yo, this was really like something that didn't need to happen. I don't know if that was literally my karma for what happened all those years. I don't know if she was laying dead waiting to get me, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's what she was doing. I don't think that was her intent. I think she was just still hurt. I think she was even more hurt with, the new additions and whatnot. And so, it was a traumatic situation. So, we've gotten past it, we cool, but it's like certain people, you kind of just like, we don't have that type of relationship anymore. But, you live and learn from it.
My biggest thing with women is not being able to understand their emotions sometimes. I can still have this mindset of if I'm talking to my brothers. If I'm talking to my brother, it's a little different. It's like if we emotions or he coming up with something, it's like, all right, bro, you talk it out right now, but then we gotta just get over it. We gotta keep going. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? With women, I used to do that. And then I didn't understand. And it was always used to come to a problem, so I have to be more understanding myself. Also, I have to talk to my women more. It's good that I'm talking about women now, but I definitely got to do my research on my Black women, more and more, because I want to be able to properly love them. So I think Black men do not know how to talk to Black women. That is a huge problem. Women in general, that is a huge problem. We have to go back and teach these men how to talk to these women, understand these women, how they want to be loved. They have a lot of emotions, you know what I'm saying? These are things that comes with women, they do a lot of things, so that was a problem that I had too. So I know that problem is out there super big because I'm big on trying to respect my Black women for sure and women just in general. So I think that is one. And then also coming from there, then you run into arguments, and not even the argument, but how you portray and say these words. That can come. That is some verbal abuse right there. And we don't even know it. Sometimes I did it and I don't even know it. And then I'll sit back and be like, I can't do that. I gotta sit back and now I gotta self-forgive myself. I gotta go through and rewire everything. Ask for forgiveness, be accountable, say I was wrong, and then start doing the things that are right. So I think those are the problems that I'll be having with women. I keep running into those problems, so I know I have to go in and go fix that for sure. So I think those are the things that I run into myself.
Just like trying to basically, manipulate, make it feel like I was always in the wrong. I was always doing something, which I wasn't. Just trying to be controlling. You can't go to this club, you can't go out, blah, 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 blah. So for me, that situation woke me up. All the homies was telling me to leave, but I don't know, I was tripping. I was still, thinking this was something, but it really wasn't. It took me a while to get out of it, but once I got out, it was, way more beneficial than I was in. It was more stress and stuff than it was, positivity and joy. So that was definitely an experience that I'll never forget because it showed me this is not what you want in a girl. More loud, causing scenes, like that's not even my type of person. So I don't know. It was more so for me, it was convenient, it was more so for the looks or whatever, but that's not it. Personality was trash. Shout out to her though.
My best friend, they're women. I plan on having a wife, and so I'm intimate with women. I have friends who are like, acquaintances that are women who, I'm platonic with. And then there are women who, I'm not in a relationship with that I'll be intimate with. And so there's a whole spectrum of, interactions with women. But something that's consistent is, as long as you love and nurture them, they'll love and nurture you back. And even sometimes when you don't love and nurture them, they'll do it back. And that kind of just shows you like the glory of their essence.